Did you know that vegetables once played a role in winning the war? During World War II, Victory Gardens produced nearly half of America's food, feeding families at home while supporting soldiers overseas. These weren't just vegetables, they were symbols of resilience and survival. Many of these crops have since disappeared from our gardens, but they still carry lessons for today. Here are 20 vegetables that helped win the war and why they might matter again. Lincoln pea. Introduced in the early 1900s, the Lincoln pea became a Victory Garden favorite thanks to its sweet taste and impressive yields. Unlike many older pea varieties, Lincoln peas held their flavor even in warmer conditions, making them dependable across climates. Families grew them for fresh eating, canning, and freezing, since peas were a protein-rich food that could be stored for months. The compact vines produced a surprising abundance of plump, tender pods, so even small gardens could count on plenty of harvest. Another advantage was their disease resistance, which meant fewer losses in a time when every seed mattered. For households facing uncertainty, Lincoln peas were both nutritious and reliable, filling plates with fresh green flavor, while also lining pantries for the lean winter ahead. Henderson Lima bean. The Henderson Lima bean was a protein-packed workhorse of Victory Gardens. First introduced in the late 19th century, this dwarf bush variety became indispensable during World War II because it produced heavy yields in a small space. Gardeners loved that it didn't need poles or trellises, making it easy for anyone to grow. The beans themselves were buttery, filling, and highly nutritious, exactly what ration-strapped families needed. They could be eaten fresh, dried, or canned for winter storage, giving them year-round value. Another hidden benefit was their ability to fix nitrogen in the soil, enriching the garden for future crops. For families worried about meat shortages, Henderson Limas offered plant-based protein that kept meals hearty. They were a reminder that small plants could deliver big security. Purdue Improved Bush Lima bean. This little bean may not sound heroic, but it was a quiet workhorse of the Victory Gardens. The Purdue Improved Bush Lima bean was developed for its reliable yields and ability to grow in smaller spaces, perfect for home plots during wartime. Unlike climbing lima beans, this bush variety didn't need trellising, which saved both time and resources. Families loved it for its buttery flavor and protein-rich pods, which could be eaten fresh or dried for storage through the winter. Its resilience in different soils made it accessible to gardeners everywhere, from cities to rural towns. This bean wasn't flashy, but it delivered nutrition when people needed it most. Today, it reminds us that sometimes the most unassuming crops can carry the heaviest load in feeding a nation. Oxheart Carrot. Unlike the long, slender carrots we're used to today, the Oxheart Carrot was a stocky, thick-rooted heirloom perfect for the heavy soils many home gardeners had to work with. Its unique heart-like shape wasn't just eye-catching. It meant a crop that was meaty, filling, and easy to harvest even when conditions weren't ideal. Wartime families relied on Oxheart carrots for soups, stews, and roasted meals, as they stored well and added reliable sweetness. The carrot's adaptability was one of its greatest strengths, thriving where other varieties struggled. Farmers and gardeners alike valued it as a sure bet, a carrot that could be counted on in hard times. For Victory Gardens, the Oxheart wasn't about looks, it was about dependable nutrition when families needed it most. Golden wax bean. The golden wax bean brought a splash of sunshine to wartime gardens. Its bright yellow pods were not only beautiful, but also tender, sweet, and easy to cook. Families loved them fresh, canned, or frozen, and they were versatile enough for soups, sides, and salads. Golden wax was also a bush variety, meaning it didn't need poles or trellises, making it easy for beginners or those with small plots. Perhaps most importantly, it was highly resistant to common bean diseases, ensuring a reliable crop even in stressful times. For families counting on every harvest, this consistency mattered. The bean's cheerful color stood out on the dinner table, brightening meals during a dark era. It wasn't just food, comfort, reliability, and resilience in a single crop. Red romaine lettuce. Red romaine lettuce added both beauty and nutrition to wartime gardens. With its striking deep red leaves and crisp texture, it stood out from the common green lettuces. But beyond its looks, this heirloom offered resilience. It tolerated heat better than most lettuces, making it ideal for summer harvests when greens were scarce. Families used it in salads, sandwiches, or even lightly grilled for a smoky twist. Rich in vitamins and antioxidants, red romaine was a health crop encouraged by Victory Garden manuals. Another advantage was its cut-and-come-again nature. Outer leaves could be harvested while the inner ones kept growing, stretching its yield. For gardeners trying to maximize every inch of soil, this lettuce wasn't just colorful, it was practical. It fed families consistently through the growing season. Calico corn, flint corn. Before hybrid sweet corn dominated backyards, many Victory Garden families grew calico corn, a type of flint corn known for its colorful kernels. Calico corn was valued for its toughness and long storage life. Families could grind it into cornmeal for bread, polenta, or porridge, making it an essential staple when wheat was scarce. Its resilience in poor soil and drought conditions also made it dependable during uncertain times. Beyond nutrition, its vibrant red, yellow, and blue speckled kernels brought beauty to wartime gardens, a small morale booster during hard years. While it's rare to see calico corn today outside heritage farms, it still stands as proof of how diverse crops once gave communities both strength and sustenance in the fight for survival. Banana melon. Few crops felt like a treat in wartime, but the banana melon was exactly that. Long and yellow with a faint banana-like scent, this heirloom melon was grown in Victory Gardens for its sweetness and novelty. In a time when sugar was strictly rationed, its naturally sweet flesh offered families a rare indulgence. Its creamy melon meets banana flavor worked beautifully in fresh desserts, fruit salads, or simply eaten straight from the garden on hot summer days. Easy to grow in warm climates, the vines sprawled out and delivered heavy yields with little fuss. For many families, banana melons became a reminder that not every crop had to be about survival. Some could bring joy, comfort, and a taste of luxury, even in the hardest times. Strawberry Blite. Strawberry Blite was one of those curious Victory Garden crops that blurred the line between practical and ornamental. Its clusters of bright red, berry-like fruits added color and cheer in a time when morale was just as important as nourishment. Though the fruits were mildly flavored and often mixed with other ingredients for jams or pies, the plant's real strength was in its resilience. It thrived in poor soils, tolerated both heat and cold, and produced quickly, sometimes in just 40 to 60 days. Gardeners valued it not only for food, but also for the splash of brightness it brought to their plots. In the shadow of war, Strawberry Blite offered a reminder that beauty and utility could coexist, making it a unique staple of Victory Gardens. Chantenay Red Core Carrot. During the war years, carrots weren't just a side dish, they were promoted as a health food, even claimed to help improve night vision for pilots. Among the many varieties, the Chantenay Red Core stood out. Unlike long, slender carrots that struggled in heavy soils, Chantenay carrots were shorter and thicker, with broad shoulders and a rich, sweet flavor. Their deep red-orange centers made them especially appealing both in stews and on the table. Gardeners appreciated how well they stored, meaning families could rely on them long after harvest. Easy to grow and forgiving in less than ideal soils, Chantenay Red Core carrots became a symbol of practical resilience. They may not look like supermarket carrots today, but their flavor and toughness earned them a place in wartime gardens. Pennsylvania Dutch Crookneck Squash. This heirloom squash was a staple in wartime gardens for its hearty yields and sweet, nutty flesh. Shaped with a long, curved neck and slightly bumpy yellow skin, it was both distinctive and practical. Families roasted it, mashed it, baked it into pies, or used it in soups. Its versatility made it invaluable when rations limited variety. Another key strength was how quickly it matured, often producing in just 50 to 60 days, which meant gardeners could enjoy multiple harvests in a single season. Its vines were compact compared to other squashes, making it manageable in crowded plots. High yields, fast growth, and excellent storage qualities made the Pennsylvania Dutch Crookneck more than just a vegetable. It was a dependable ally in feeding families when every bite mattered. Detroit Dark Red Beet. The Detroit Dark Red Beet earned its place in Victory Gardens for being dependable, nutritious, and versatile. Its deep crimson flesh made it a striking addition to meals, while its earthy sweetness worked well in everything from pickles to salads. Gardeners loved how easy it was to grow. This beet tolerated cold weather, matured quickly, and provided not just roots, but edible greens as well. During wartime, nothing went to waste, so both leaves and roots were eaten. The high vitamin content made them a recommended health food, while their long storage life kept pantries stocked through the lean months. Families could boil, roast, or preserve them, and children were often reminded to eat their beets for strength. The Detroit Dark Red was humble, but it truly fed a nation. Charleston Gray Watermelon. By the 1940s, the Charleston Gray Watermelon was already earning a reputation as the perfect summer treat, and Victory Gardens helped cement its place. With its long, light green rind and bright red flesh, this melon was bred for more than just sweetness. It was tough, resistant to diseases, and capable of traveling long distances without spoiling, a critical trait during wartime food transport. Families prized it for picnics and gatherings as a refreshing escape from the heaviness of rationed meals. Its vines were vigorous, stretching across gardens, but the reward was worth the space. Large, juicy melons that could feed whole families. In a time of uncertainty, Charleston Gray watermelons brought joy, relief, and a taste of normal life. They weren't just food, they were morale boosters. Green Glaze Collards. Collard greens were already a Southern favorite before the war, but the Green Glaze variety had a special advantage that made it invaluable during the Victory Garden era. Unlike most leafy greens, Green Glaze collards had smooth, glossy leaves that deterred pests like cabbage worms and aphids. This made them far easier to grow without chemicals or sprays, which were limited during wartime. Families valued their rich flavor, packed with vitamins and minerals, especially at a time when fresh produce was critical for health. These collards could withstand heat and keep producing over a long season, giving households a steady supply of nutritious greens. Though they've fallen out of favor in modern gardens, their natural pest resistance and reliability make them a crop worth remembering and perhaps reviving. Scarlet Ohno Turnip. The Scarlet Ohno Turnip added vibrant color and reliable nourishment to wartime gardens. Its rosy red skin stood out against the soil, but its appeal went beyond looks. With a mild, sweet flavor, it was versatile enough for soups, roasting, or even eaten raw in salads. Families appreciated how quickly it grew, often ready in just 40 to 50 days. Meaning it could provide food fast in moments of shortage. Even better, turnips thrived in cooler weather, making them a dependable late-season crop when other vegetables faded. Both roots and greens were edible, maximizing their usefulness in a time when nothing went to waste. For Victory gardeners, Scarlet Ohno wasn't simply a vegetable, it was a symbol of efficiency, color, and resilience against the harsh realities of war. Cushaw Squash. Cushaw squash was more than just a garden novelty, it was a wartime staple. Its long, curved neck and striped green and white skin made it easy to spot, but its value lay in durability. This hardy heirloom thrived in poor soil, resisted pests, and produced hefty fruits that could weigh 10 to 20 pounds. Families relied on Cushaw because it stored well, often lasting through the winter without refrigeration. Its sweet, nutty flesh worked beautifully in pies, roasted dishes, and savory soups, offering both comfort and sustenance. Victory Garden guides encouraged planting it for its resilience and yield. For families under rationing, Cushaw squash meant security. It was a crop that symbolized not just abundance, but survival in uncertain times. Snow's fancy pickling cucumber. Pickling was a survival tactic during the war, and cucumbers like Snow's fancy were in high demand. This variety was bred specifically for pickling, with firm, crisp flesh that held its crunch long after being brined or canned. Families relied on it to extend food supplies through the winter, making jars of pickles that brightened ration-limited meals. Unlike larger slicing cucumbers, Snow's fancy produced uniform, smaller fruits that fit perfectly into jars. The vines were productive and dependable, giving gardeners a steady harvest throughout the season. Beyond practicality, cucumbers like this added a bit of freshness and variety to the dinner table when options were slim. While it's rarely seen now, Snow's fancy pickling cucumber shows how creativity and preservation kept families nourished during the hardest years. White Creole onion. At the very top sits the white Creole onion, a southern favorite that proved invaluable during the war. Known for its bold, pungent flavor and crisp texture, this onion brought depth to even the simplest ration-based meals. But what truly set it apart was its storage ability. Once harvested, the tight white bulbs could last for months in cool, dry conditions, ensuring a steady supply of flavor long after the growing season ended. Disease resistance and heat tolerance made it especially reliable in southern climates where other varieties might fail. Whether caramelized into stews, grilled alongside meats, or simply used to season daily meals, the white Creole onion pulled far more weight than its modest appearance suggested. For Victory gardeners, it was indispensable, a crop that truly carried them through. Green Arrow Pea. Green Arrow peas earned their reputation as one of the most reliable crops of the Victory Garden era. Known for producing long pods packed with sweet, plump peas, they gave families a high return for relatively little effort. Disease resistance made them a safer choice than many other pea varieties, ensuring consistent harvests even under stressful conditions. These peas were incredibly versatile. Perfect fresh off the vine, preserved in jars, or frozen for the months ahead. Packed with protein and fiber, they helped stretch meals when meat and other staples were scarce. Their compact growth habit also meant they didn't demand much garden space, an advantage for urban households making do with small plots. Green Arrow peas delivered both flavor and security, which is exactly what wartime gardeners needed most. Early Jersey Wakefield cabbage. Compact, fast-growing, and dependable, early Jersey Wakefield cabbage was a true star of wartime gardens. Its pointed, conical heads were ready for harvest much sooner than most cabbage varieties, sometimes in as little as 60 days. That speed mattered when families needed food quickly. The leaves were sweet and tender, excellent for coleslaws, soups, and sauerkraut, which could be stored for months. Unlike round-headed cabbages, Wakefield was less prone to splitting, making it more forgiving for gardeners with inconsistent watering schedules. Its smaller size also suited tighter urban plots, meaning nearly every household could grow it. For families balancing limited space and time, this cabbage was a lifeline. Reliable, versatile, and hardy enough to feed a household through both fresh meals and preserved stores. Some were big, some were strange, but all had a story to tell. Which one would you bring back to your garden? Let me know in the comments. And if you enjoyed this, make sure to like, subscribe, and hit the bell so you don't miss the next video where we'll uncover more garden secrets from the past.